Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lands of Aecathan. It's 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons in an all-original world. Yes, this is the time where a bunch of people who some might justifiably say have played D&D a little bit too much demonstrate that we don't care and play D&D a little bit more. So, how's everybody doing this week?
Great.
Are you asking us?
Yes!
It's really cold.
Yes.
And snowy.
It
Yes.
could be worse, though.
Yeah, it could be that in a place that isn't used to it, like Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of blame my mother because she shouldn't have traveled and she's down there and she had to stay an extra week because she couldn't leave. So
If you
Wow.
live in Texas and you have all the snow, we are sorry.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was single digits there this morning. They've had rolling blackouts, so they haven't had heat or power, no cell service. It's bad.
Yeah, that's why President Biden declared a state of emergency for Texas and is sending federal aid down there. So
What's
Yeah.
the meme? Isn't it nice to have a regular president who does things like that?
yeah.
Oh,
But
because
what-
even though they didn't vote for him.
Right. The one thing I observed that I noted is that I had to find out about it from the news media because
Not
he
Twitter.
He didn't say a thing. He just did it and went back to work.
Well, that was because that was his job, and he just
Yeah,
did
but
it.
it's very
Didn't
strange.
require applause to do his job.
I guess. Just
How
new
you really
new and
feel about
different.
it, Pam? Ask me for a friend.
I just, if you need applause to do your job, then go be on a stage. But
Applause is always nice. I will say that.
well, yes, but
But
No. declaring a state of emergency because people are without power and it's 3 degrees outside and they have no heat you shouldn't get applauded for that.
yeah. Somebody posted a picture. They had filled their bathtub full of water like you're supposed to do when severe weather.
And it froze.
It's frozen.
Ooh.
The bad part is because the power has been going in and out. Now they're all under boil water orders. So when the power comes on, you've got to boil a bunch of water because you can't use the water out of the sink.
Right. Well, unless you've already filled your bathtub, at which point you just take an ice pick and carve out some chunks of ice and let it melt, and then you can use that.
Right, but I'm not drinking tub water. I don't care how clean the tub is. I'm not drinking that.
Well,
No,
To
I
each.
told her yesterday before the power went out. I was like, go fill a bunch of pitchers with water. She's like, yeah, we're under a boil order. I'm like, I told you. I know these things.
Yep.
And you
So-
didn't listen.
We got a couple announcements. Just a reminder that we are promoting the Code Green campaign, which is a first responder oriented mental health group that provides it connects first responders with mental health services and also works to try and remove the stigma of mental health, especially for first responders. Firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, dispatchers, police officers, corrections officers, air medical personnel, search and rescue personnel. These are the people that have kind of a heightened stigma because nobody wants to think about the fact that their firefighter might need mental health care. But I got news for you. Everybody needs mental health care at some point, whether they get it or not. So that's one of the things that they do. And we're behind that. We're behind that 100%. So if you can help, if you can donate, go to our website, artifactsworldswide.com. And the link is right there on the front page. That'll take you right to the Code Green donations page. The other announcement is we do have our poll running, what we should be playing on board remotely. Last week we had talked about maybe adding Star Trek Online, and then I did some reading, and we're not going to be adding Star Trek Online.
Yeah, I don't think you can play it cooperatively.
You can somewhat, but only after you get through the tutorial, and the tutorial takes like 6 hours.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's a long tutorial, and there's no way to play co-op during the tutorial, so
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm just thinking probably not.
Too much work.
Yeah. Although we have added a new game that we're doing on GM Chat Intermezzo because we're playing City of Heroes.
Woohoo.
We found a nice little private server that said we could play on them and stream, and so far so good. You know,
So far.
yeah, we're having a good time. We have our electric based hero duo, Dextricity and Electrocity.
So
fun.
Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, what?
No,
On
no,
the decks.
no. Nikki is Dextricity, and I am Electrocity.
Dyna Woman. Oh, sorry.
But anyway, we'll be playing it again tomorrow night. So, yeah. And who knows, maybe if somebody gets home in time and wants to join us, we might add a third player.
So sassy.
That sounds like a great fun for you.
Who would that be?
I don't know.
If I was not so darn tired, I would totally.
Well, like I said, we only play for an hour. So
We will see.
yeah, it's not a long gaming session. We had fun playing Neverwinter on Sunday.
Yes.
I actually made it through without dying, and Nikki only got knocked unconscious once.
That was a big
So,
dude.
Yeah, that she got swarmed. She got ambushed while I was off fighting another group. So I dispatched them as quickly as I could and ran back to help.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Don't split the party.
yeah. Well, we didn't intend to. It just sort of happened.
I got dismounted.
Yes, we were trying to ride past all the flunkies, and one of them went nope, and then another group of them went nope to me just as I turned around to try and get back to her. So I had to fight 3 of them myself, and then run back and help her take on the 4 or 5 that she was fighting.
Yeah, it was not good.
Right.
Sorry, I wasn't there to help you.
That's all right.
It's okay.
Well, we're playing
Figure it out.
different characters when it's just Nikki and I anyway. So.
Yep.
Yep. The half orc paladin and the elven wizard.
Glad you know who I am. I have no idea.
I was gonna say, sounds like a bad tavern tune that Tasha might get asked to play.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on, do the one. You know the one
Right.
with
Yeah.
the half orc.
And the elven wizard.
Good God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So anyway, announcements done, and all that's left at this point is for me to welcome you officially back to the lands of Aecathan. And welcome back. So last time, our group was on their way back from a dinner with the Lord Abbot of Remane Keep, who has asked the group to call him BA. It's a rather unassuming gentleman to be in charge. And they were lured into an ambush by a crying child. And although they suspected it was an ambush, they went anyway and managed to defeat the evil Crescent Vardoon, bounty hunter from Strathsman's Keep, who was trying to get his hands on Tasha to forcibly return her home. Once he was defeated, the remaining sellswords in his employ realized that discretion was really the better part of valor and ran off.
They noped out. Nope.
Yep. The group managed to get back to the Iron Fist Inn and Tavern, where Susanna commented that it was strange to see the owner of one of the two general stores in town in her establishment, and mentioned that the only time he ever comes in is when he's
Doing
nervous
something.
about something or is meeting with someone that he doesn't trust. And he was meeting with a half-orc gentleman, perhaps a guard or a warrior. Tasha decided to go invisible and go listen in. And it turned out that the half-orc was in actuality a disguised Granilla.
Mm.
Yes. And Tasha overheard them making plans to meet at his store the following night, where he would introduce her to two other guests of his. And you know from intelligence that Tasha received that the robed woman and the hulking robed gentleman that seemed to be in charge of organizing the bandits south of Aermagh a month and a half or so ago were reportedly headed this direction. So you have thought that perhaps those would be the two that Drogo would be introducing Granilla to. And you slept the night, woke up the next morning, and began to plan what you were going to do once evening fell. That is where we will start this evening.
I want to clarify, the meeting was going to be held at the store, not at the carriage house, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I misunderstood that part.
The two are staying in his carriage house. But he told Granilla to come to his store.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that too. Thank you.
So, Heroes of Thunder's Edge, Heroes of Aermagh, what would you like to do?
Call for backup.
So,
Okay, so when is the meeting supposed to be? How much time do we have?
All day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great.
The meeting is
So-
supposed to be after his store closes, which usually closes right around sundown.
Okay, and what time is it now?
You just got up.
Oh, okay.
When did
So-
we go?
go ahead.
When did we go to the store? Was that last night or was that
Yeah,
today?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Mm.
I finish my prayers and wait for them to wake up.
Okay, so what do you think about us? I'm saying this to Zori and Arabelle. I get up, I'm sort of awake, and I say, okay, so what if we went to the army and asked them to borrow a pair of leather armor for Arabelle, so she's not so loud.
It's funny. That's what I was just gonna say.
Okay. Let's try that first. Well, breakfast first, because breakfast. And then we can go.
Right, we should talk
We
about
could-
the ideas that we've all been thinking about.
Yeah, let's go eat breakfast.
We shouldn't talk down there because Granilla could be there disguised as anybody.
Oh, okay. Do you want to talk before breakfast?
Mhm.
Or we can eat first and then come back up. We have all day.
All right,
That's true.
breakfast first.
Breakfast.
Sorry, doesn't think well before food.
No, she doesn't think well at all, but food helps.
Hey, she thinks okay.
Okay. So we eat
Yes.
All right.
the regular breakfast that she's got.
Yeah. She pretty much has a handle on what you like to eat and drink at this point, so she just shows up at the table with it.
Yes. That's what we would like.
All right.
Yes. So then we head back upstairs to talk.
Yes. So what do you think, Arabelle?
Yeah, I was thinking that I just need to think through what type of armor would be the best to ask them for.
Oh,
Because leather's going to be the least amount of protection, but there's other options that won't have the same effect as what I have now.
Ooh, very good.
okay.
So now
Yes,
There's-
definitely if they would be willing to.
there's 3 floors to the shop.
We saw all 3, right?
Yes.
Did now that it's at the shop and not the carriage house.
Oh, is the convo going to be at the shop?
Mm-hmm. We all misunderstood it. We all thought it was.
Oh, I thought it was
going
going to be at the carriage house.
Right.
No, the pair that came in, Drogo is letting stay in his carriage house.
Ah. Oh, okay.
So when we were there, I'd like to think
Mhm.
back. When
Mhm.
we were there, was there like a back room that we saw?
No. It was literally 3 floors. There was a counter, but it basically was 3 large rooms.
Right.
Ooh.
Was there, from what we saw, did it look like maybe there was a stock room somewhere?
Not that you recall.
Mm.
Okay. And there's windows on all the levels, right?
Yes.
Dang it.
Well, okay. I do have fly or levitate or something.
One is, I think, isn't. No, I was gonna say, isn't your invisibility? Never mind. I don't know.
The
I'm gonna look.
loot, I believe, has fly.
So I have to play the lute while
No.
I'm
No.
okay.
You just have to have it on you so you can touch it, and it can be
Oh.
touching you.
Okay.
But don't forget the invisibility is concentration up to an hour.
Right.
So, and then if she casts it at larger levels, you can target 1 additional creature for each slot above second.
Right. So okay, so the plan was for me to cast invisibility on all 3 of us. And then for me, well, and then for Zori and I to sneak up and see if we could hear what they were saying. And have Arabelle be lookout so that she's close by it. And we should come up with a signal like caca or something. Yeah.
My favorite. So the invisibility only does 2 people.
No, we could
Not
do
if she
3.
casts it at 4th level.
You can do one additional person per level.
Oh, but she can cast it at 4th level
Yes.
I can.
for each slot level above 2nd. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So
The thing
Um,
the thing to keep in mind though is that it is a concentration spell.
right. Can I cast fly and cast?
Is fly concentration?
No, it's touch.
Levitate. Concentration up to 10 minutes.
No, fly, not levitate.
Concentration up
Oh.
to 10 minutes.
Shit. I
So
can't
it
do
will
both.
drop invisibility. No.
Ah,
Only do one
humbug.
concentration spell at a time.
Concentration spells.
You don't have anything.
Well, here's the thing.
Or story.
Here's the thing. This because the spell comes from the loot,
Uh-huh.
it acts as if you were concentrating on it, but it does not require concentration because it
helpful.
comes from a magic item.
Okay.
Oh, so even in the invisibility will work that way.
Are they both from the loot?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ah. Can I cast the loot at, I mean, like, can I cast knowing that that spell is from my loot? Can I cast it at 4th level?
That's a very good question. I am looking
Thank
it
you.
up.
Can you cast 4th level spells yourself?
Yeah, but I don't have invisibility.
No, but you can cast 4th level spells.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Finish. Yeah.
But I'm just not sure.
It's not listed, but is because it acts,
Gotcha.
because it's not listed as a 4th level spell because
It's from the loot.
yeah, it's from the loot, but also if it says that you can level it up, you can still use the 4th level slot for it, but it doesn't show that. The only thing I can do is Misty Step.
Well, I mean, that would work.
What level is fly?
Fly is 3rd level.
Does the loot have any 4th level spells?
No.
Then you probably can't cast it higher if it's higher than the level of the loot, right? If the loot doesn't have 4th level spells, then you can't
What-
cast.
What say you, Jeff?
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Additionally, if you and I are standing close together and we get in trouble, you can technically cast Dimension Door now and
It's
get us both the
not
hell out of
even-
here.
Not even technically. Like, I have that ability. Like,
You
that's-
do. And you can bring one willing creature of your size or smaller.
Are
I
you
just have to
smaller
be
than
within
me?
5 feet of you.
Okay.
So you don't have to cast invisibility on me though, because I'm not going to be as close as you guys are. So just cast it on the 2 of you.
Yeah, I
At a
guess.
3rd level, you mean?
Well, I mean, it's at 3rd level.
Right, and that gives you the 2 of you.
All right.
Third. Because I'm not going to be with you up against it. I'm keeping lookout from.
Oh no, invisibility is 2nd level. Sorry. Duh. Oh, I'm getting confused. Okay.
Rules that are not 3rd edition. Huh?
Right.
Okay, so 3rd level invisibility. And that gets her and me.
Right. And then I can. So, I mean, I was thinking we would just have to be on the 1st floor and listen, right?
So
But-
we need to go in. We need to go in invisible right before they close with the last person that comes out. Is that what we're saying? Do we want to be
We
inside?
It only
should.
lasts 10 minutes. You don't know how long.
No, it lasts for an hour. Invisibility, not greater invisibility, just regular invisibility lasts for an hour. Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
according to this.
Okay.
But we don't know if the shop closes at 5 and they're not meeting till 10
Oh, that would suck.
because we don't know, right? We just know that night.
Okay. Unfortunately, unless it specifically states otherwise, spells from items cannot be upscaled.
So I can't cast
cast
invisibility.
They're cast at the
third
lowest level. So they're cast at their base spell level.
Well, I can only cast invisibility on myself.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Afraid so.
Well, that's helpful. Said no one ever.
But you don't have it your own.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
Because I can't switch stuff around until I go up a level, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually have the winged boots.
Well, okay. But you don't have invisibility.
Right.
So
Knock, knock, knock. Hey, what's up? Just your friendly neighborhood spider chick.
can I cast it more than once? No.
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 Once per day.
Concentration.
No, each spell once per day.
Oh, from the loot?
Yep.
Crap.
Right, in which it still gets you though. We don't know how long you'd have to be in there.
Right. This is gonna be harder than I thought. Okay.
Yeah, we thought it was Sarah's house. All our plans foiled.
Okay.
Sure were. Sure were.
So
All right. So there is an army outpost though, right?
Yes.
yeah.
So, because monks don't wear armor, so the monastery will be no use. We'll have to go to the army.
Right.
Okay. So
Have a breastplate.
here's what I think. I think I should disguise both of us, both Zorith and I, with my skill for disguise, right? Do I have that as a skill? I thought I did.
It would be a deception roll.
Yeah, you have +7. I actually have a disguise kit,
Oh, okay.
and my deception is also +7.
I think I have a disguise kit too. Hold, please. Yes, I have a disguise kit too. I was like, it's in there somewhere. Something about disguise. Okay. So if we disguise ourselves, that way, if we, if the invisibility stuff doesn't work out, we still have something. But we can't just be inside the store because
Right.
we won't be invisible and they will kick us out.
If they don't kill us out.
They could try. But so that means we were going to be on the outside. So I can cast invisibility on myself.
Right.
And use, but I won't cast it until we know they show up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to basically just kind of hide near the store and wait for people to show up.
On our previous reconnaissance, when the horse was out front, were there any abandoned shops or anything like that that we can recall?
Make a history check.
Okay. Well, that's not horrible. History.
Do I get to roll that too?
Sure.
16.
22.
Oh. Boo.
You don't recall seeing anything that looked like it was currently unoccupied.
Okay.
Maybe we could go to a shop that is nearby and...
I think we need to go talk to Susanna. I think we need to bring Susanna in this and see if she can help us. Maybe she knows a shopkeeper that would let us kind of
hang out in his shop.
Yeah.
Across the way.
Yeah. I think we need help.
Do you have the spell? No, you don't have it anymore, do you, Zori? The disguise self spell.
I do not. I got rid of it.
That would have been helpful.
We could totally kidnap the dude and make one of us look like him, but we can't do that.
Nope.
I don't have the spell.
Oh, sorry.
You just never know when you're gonna need these spells. It's annoying.
Right. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. Maybe
I'm
getting you
gonna-
armor for sure.
I'm gonna go get Susanna and bring her upstairs, or see if she can like meet with us. I will be right back. So I go downstairs and look for Susanna.
Oh, she's there.
Okay.
There are about 5 customers left from breakfast.
Okay.
And she's behind the bar.
So I mosey up to the bar.
Oh. Hello again.
Good morning. How are you today?
Oh, I can't complain.
No one would listen anyway, right?
That is the truth, yes.
I was wondering if you could help me with an item that I found in my room. I don't think it's mine.
Certainly. I wonder how it would have got there. But yes, I can come up as soon as these people leave.
Thank you. And I go back upstairs. And I say, she's going to come up as soon as everybody leaves.
What are we going to say?
Well, we're going to tell her that we're trying to figure out how best to surveil our evildoers.
Right.
Our Jogravanans. And ask her if she knows, explain our limitations.
Yeah.
And ask her if she can think of a person who would be, or a nearby shop owner who would be willing to let us hide out in his establishment and kind of do surveillance.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Arabelle, what do you think? Yes?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Are you frantically looking at spells and stuff?
Looking at armor.
Oh, got it.
She's
I'm trying
researching armor.
Well, I'm trying to... That mithril armor we saw,
Mm-hmm.
what kind was it? Was it just a shirt?
Let me look one moment.
Mithril armor in the atlas, so I didn't know what kind.
I think it was scale.
Mithril dress. Bluish silver scale mithril dress.
Yep.
Can't normally get mithril.
It's rare.
760 gold pieces.
Real rare.
I would like to go stop by there this morning.
Well, we've got to wait for Susanna first. But
Right.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, goodness. So, let's see. I could make myself invisible but only for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You have Misty Step, and I have Fly. How long does Fly last for? Oh, 10 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna be able to hear anything from the outside. I don't know.
Well, and the windows are open, right?
Are the windows open?
The windows are going to be closed. You're going to have a window open. So you can cast an illusion, though, right? Zorith?
Yes. What kind of illusion?
Okay, so hold that thought. Is Fly a spell you have, or is that from the loot?
Fly is from the loot,
Okay, so you can only cast it on yourself.
right?
No, she can cast it on anyone, but she can only cast it once.
Okay, on one person.
Right.
Whatever the base for Fly is.
Right. But it should be Tasha anyway, because Tasha's the spy. What I'm wondering is,
Yeah, a single willing target.
and
So
you can cast invisibility as well on yourself.
Right.
So what if during the day, when we go into the shop, you can unlatch a window
Mhm.
today, and then that's the window you'll go in. And maybe when you're flying up invisible to go inside, Zori can cast an illusion to make the window look closed, even as we're opening it. Because we don't know what room they'll be in, because if we unlock a window, they could be in that room.
Right.
Maybe we can maybe we can be super sneaky and unlock a window on each floor.
Yeah, and I actually, before she flies, for sure, I actually have those boots. So I could actually not fly in front of the window, but like fly near it to the side of it and see if we could hear anything and then know which floor they'd be on.
I might be able to see through a window where there's a light.
Right, but I don't want them seeing me. So if here's the window, then I'm going to be like over to the side of it so I can hear. Heck in a handbasket.
It might just be she's the only one that can get close to the window. I bet if she's not inside and she's listening at the window.
I wonder if we could buy any invisibility potions.
Ooh, that might be right on.
We don't got that much money.
Probably.
Yeah, no, we don't. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Or
Okay.
think among yourselves.
Goodness gracious.
So Susan's had to finish up like breakfast and stuff, right?
Yep.
And clean. Okay. Are the shops likely open? Maybe I could just go do my quick thing while we're waiting on Susanna.
Yeah, the shops are open.
Okay.
Just about the time you're getting ready to leave, you come out of the room and you see her coming up the stairs.
I was going to do it because I figured she wouldn't be up there. Never mind.
No, it took about half an hour.
Okay.
But she comes up.
Okay.
And says, "Oh, were you just leaving? I can come back."
No, it's
No.
fine.
All right. So what is this thing you found? And she walks in and closes the door and says, all right, how can I help you?
Well, we know that Granella is meeting with other people this evening at the shop.
At Drogo's.
Yes, at Drogo's. I have invisibility, but it only lasts for an hour, and I can only cast it once on myself. But we're not certain that. Well, actually, we're kind of sure that we won't be able to hear anything from outside of the shop. Do you think that's true?
It all depends on how thick his window panes are. I don't know. If you could get the window open a crack, or perhaps put your ear right up against the pane, you might hear. It also depends on how loud they are speaking.
That is true.
And how close they are to a window.
Yes.
My guess is they'll be away from the windows so people can't see them. Because they know we're here in town.
Yes, that's true. They do know we're here. So
thought if you went in, if we hired some young person to let us in, like right before he closes the shop, like, hey, I need you to you need you to go into the shop and buy something and hold open the door, and then you went in invisible, and if it wasn't within an hour of them, I mean, like,
well, okay,
out of there.
If we disguise you, you could go in and buy something and let me in.
Sure could.
Let's just do that.
All right, I don't want to involve anybody else, but you know, Susanna, do you know Drogo's shop pretty well?
I actually have never been inside.
Oh. Wondering if there's somewhere Tasha could hide.
If I need something, I have him bring it to me.
Huh.
But mostly, I shop at Ralph's.
Do you know any shops nearby that would be where the shop owner would be willing to let us surveil from inside their shop?
Or on
so
top,
that we're not just standing on the street?
Or on the top of their shop, just kind of looking over.
Yeah.
Nobody really looks up like that, do they?
Not that would have a good eye line to his store. You would either be trying to look through his garden, or you would be looking at a very long diagonal.
The garden. How close is the garden to the building, if I remember correctly?
It is his garden. It is Drogo's garden.
Right. No, how close is it to his building?
It is attached.
I wish I was a damn druid right now. Let me think.
What about your friend, the soldier? Wasn't he a druid too?
He left this morning. He left for home.
Yes.
And you could not call him back.
That would be wrong. He has to go home and visit his family. His mother is worried sick, I'm sure.
And we've already held him back.
Yes, we have.
So, quick
All right.
question. After we listen in, is our plan to try and, like, are we getting into a fight? Or are we
No,
only...
we're trying to just listen and hear the intel. We're just trying to gather information.
Then I think it's you go invisible and fly up to the window. And today when we're in buying supplies, we try and get a window open. Because if we can get that little guy to help us again, it'll be very easy to distract him on a floor by himself. Because when we were up with him, he was the only one up there. And when we went down, he came down with us, and the person on that floor went up to watch the third floor. So he'll follow us all around, and it'll be very easy to distract him. And one of you sneaky people can unlock a window.
All right. So we go into the store. We sneak, surreptitiously open each window a crack.
Just one on each floor.
One on each floor. And then this evening, but my problem is we don't know when they're meeting. If they meet right after they close at 7, then I could sneak, then we could figure out a way for me to get in the store invisible and just listen from inside the store. Or we
probably
forgo that completely
or something, and she would see you.
I was just gonna say she's pretty high level. She may actually.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's a bad idea.
I think doing it from outside is the best.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Wait a second.
And we'll have the horsey keep an eye out for us and tell me when they come in.
I have a thought.
Okay.
Here, take my boots.
Right.
They are not
attuned to you.
Attuned.
Okay.
Right.
So use your boots.
Turn invisible.
Right. Okay. And just be outside. All right.
The boots are 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
I think that's plenty. I think this might work.
But we have to figure out when they get there, though.
We'll have the horse tell us.
Yeah.
I may be able to help.
How so?
This was given to me for emergencies. I am not sure that this counts, but I am willing to risk it. Then she reaches into her apron pocket and pulls out something wrapped in a handkerchief, and she unwraps it, and she holds up what looks like some sort of medallion. And she says, "BA gave me this for emergencies, in case I needed something and he wasn't available."
Oh, is it a sending stone?
No, it is it is his personal token. It allows me to borrow things in his name.
What do you think we should borrow?
I'm very confused.
Well,
There might be a magic item we could talk to one of the shop owners about.
yes. If you were to show this to Ellery or to the blacksmith. I don't know if they have anything that would be useful, but I am willing to let you borrow this, and I will deal with BA if he is unhappy.
Thank you very much.
There are Jogravanans in my city. You are attempting to find them and assume stop them?
Yes.
I would consider that an emergency.
So the plan is to get as much information as possible and bring it to BA. Right. So that
then
if we...
Here, and she holds this out to Tasha.
Okay. I take it.
Meanwhile, take my boots.
Okay.
Trade shoes.
I mean, we don't need to put the boots on yet.
Oh,
We can wait.
I'll leave you one.
But
Well, you can wear them without activating them.
Okay. Well, then I will put on the boots.
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Ooh, what's your idea?
We got to go to the store.
Which store?
First, we need to go to the blacksmith.
Okay.
Susanna, thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much.
We will figure out the best way to use it.
I trust that you will.
We'll bring it back safely if possible.
I got
All
a
right.
plan.
Well,
I got a plan.
okay, what's your plan?
All right, we need to go back to the shimmering grindstone.
All right.
Where the mithril dress is?
Yes. And I put my armor of fire resistance in a bag and take it with us.
Okay.
He bought my armor yesterday for a good price.
Yep.
So, go back there.
Okay.
Wait, we come in.
Yeah. Gilbert looks up after only a couple minutes, and he's like, "Oh, welcome back."
Wondered if we might be able to talk business. I have a proposition.
Always willing to talk business.
I put the armor on the counter, take it out of the bag.
What armor?
Armor of fire resistance.
Ah!
It's pretty rare magical armor.
Oh, magical, huh?
Grants the wearer resistance to fire.
All right.
You
Eustace!
deal in magical armor?
Eustace! Yeah, get over here. Calls a guy over. He's wearing a leather apron, but he doesn't look like a blacksmith. And says, check this armor out for me. And Eustace nods and begins to cast a spell. And says, armor of resistance versus fire. Right. Okay. Well, let's see. I'd probably see my way to give you 2.
To what?
1,000.
What about... And what if we barter this, so part of that towards the mithril?
Oh.
You said 2,000?
Yep.
Not 200. Okay.
No, 2,000.
So maybe the mithril and 1,300?
Make a persuasion check.
Don't fuck me, Gil. 16. I didn't roll very well.
All right. Sold. Let me go get the We go get that scale down. He walks over and pulls a keychain out of his pocket, unlocks the case, gets the armor down. The first clue you have is that he doesn't appear to strain at all lifting this armor. It also doesn't make a whole lot of noise.
Mm-hmm. I'll no longer have disadvantage on stealth, and I only lose 1 in my armor class because I actually get my dex bonus with this. So it's worth it.
It's totally worth it.
And it doesn't require, I mean, I lose the fire resistance. But
Right.
yeah. So it's
more
2
fireball.
AC, yeah. Mithril scale mails, armor class 14. What I had was 16. But this adds my dex bonus back in. So
Yep.
Nice.
yeah, not too bad.
All right. And you have 1,300 gold.
All right.
Woo woo.
Now I want to go to the bubbling draughts. Is that Ellery's?
No.
That's the alchemist.
Academy's warehouse is Ellery.
Okay. I want to go to the bubbling draughts.
Okay.
And I think, what's his name for the business? I got shiny Mithril Armor.
Gilbert.
And it's blue.
Yep.
Which is Arabelle's favorite color. Yes. So the draughts.
All right. So you head into the bubbling draught. And you see the alchemist there working away. He looks up and he's like, "Oh, hello. Can I help you?"
You sell potions, right?
Oh, lots of them.
Do you have anything that would help us listen to a conversation that we weren't supposed to?
Well, yeah, a couple maybe.
It's
What you
all
got?
on the up and up, and I motioned to Tasha to show him the symbol.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll of course pay for it, but just so you know that we're not.
No, BA's symbol, the medallion.
Yeah.
He goes,
Just so you know, we're not
goes,
shifty.
"Oh my, right. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it's for the Lord Abbot, absolutely. Well, let's see. Well, I've got potions that will make you invisible, so you could get really close. I've got let's see, a potion that will let you read their mind, but that's only good for like surface thoughts. But I've got a potion of clairvoyance that basically just like you had an ear in the room.
That. How long does that last?
Good question. Only lasts for about 10 minutes.
Ooh.
But
How long does the invisibility last for?
An hour.
Okay.
the potion, you don't have to use it till you want to listen.
That's true.
Right. But then, you know, you gotta know, how you gonna know when you want to listen if you can't hear anything? You know.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Well, if we can see through the window, that will let us hear on the inside.
But what if we can't see them through the window?
What about sending stones? Permanently on.
Wow. How much time do you have?
Today?
How much time would it take?
Yeah, no. I'd have to make them.
Oh.
Well, actually, I'd have to have Miss Tattersall make them.
Is that Ellery?
Yeah.
So we could check with her and see if she has a stone.
Oh, all right.
How much would the potion of clairvoyance cost?
Well, you've got the medallion, so it's my civic duty to offer it to you in the name of the good of the keep.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's a one-time. I mean, it'd be one thing if we could borrow it, but it's a one-time use. So, what about just a discount? How much does it normally?
I usually sell it for about 1,000 gold.
So
it's pretty high level.
Yes, it is.
Would you take 750?
Sure. I mean, considering that, I'm willing to give it to you for free.
Right, but that's not right.
Well, but you're working for the Lord Abbot, right?
Yes.
What's a comfortable amount then?
Free.
How about 250 as a tip?
500.
Oh my God, you guys are hilarious.
But
do you know what free means?
Yes, but crafting potions isn't free for him.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
No, but this falls under civic duty. And
yes, but
I can make another one.
What's the cost to you? Like 500?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So I'll give you 500 if that will cover your costs.
Sure.
Okay.
So funny. My word.
All right. You are now the proud possessor of a potion of clairvoyance.
So let's see if Ellery has any sending stones. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Good luck. Whatever you're doing.
Thanks.
Well, because when we go outside, the thing is, she said that he gave it to her for an emergency, and so I don't want to take advantage. Like she said, it would let us.
This
borrow.
is an emergency.
But she said it would let her borrow something. This is we can't give it back.
Okay.
So it's fine because the armor was found, so. And I got this cool armor.
Fancy.
It is very fancy armor. Yes. I must say.
She's like, here, take my left arm. I got fancy armor.
So Ellery, we went and saw. That's right. She was the one who only helped townspeople, right?
Mm-hmm.
We met her last week.
Yeah.
So let's see if she's got.
Oh no, that was the other alchemist.
Oh, who was the one we met?
You met Ellery, but the other alchemist was the one that only deals with townsfolk.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So we're gonna go see Ellery.
Right.
Oh, that's at the Academy warehouse.
Yes.
Okay. Because the sending stone is reusable, so if somebody had one, we could borrow it with the medallion and give it back.
Yep.
And even if she has one, this whole potion of clairvoyance isn't a bad thing, because I think you can, with this clairvoyance spell, you can see or hear. You can go back and forth. So
yes,
it's a good spy thing for us to have either way.
All right. Well, you walk in the door. You've been here before. You see Ellery behind the counter, and she's like, "Oh, good morning, welcome back. How can I help you?"
Is there anybody else in here?
That's a good question. No.
We were hoping if we could talk to you about something rather important and
private.
Oh, absolutely. When it comes to my business, everything is important.
We're doing some work with BA. I'm sorry, the Lord Braun Anvil.
Oh. And I suppose you can prove that. Oh dear. Right. What do you need? Her smile's gotten a little strained.
We just wondered if you might happen to have a sending stone we could borrow for a day.
Is it 2 sending stones? Because you need one to
Or a
listen to
set,
the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a set of sending
Stone
stones.
set, if you will.
All right.
To borrow.
Pam, high or low?
Low.
I'm afraid not.
Damn it.
77.
Damn it.
I said high because I rolled low and I said I should have gone the opposite.
I could absolutely enchant a pair. It'll just take a little time.
How long is a little time?
I'll push everything else aside since this is for Lord Braunanville. A week.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Have you made a set before?
Oh yes, several times.
Do you know anyone in town who has some?
I know several people in town who have one. They've gotten them to communicate with family who live long distance.
Oh, that's nice, but not helpful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Lovely, but thanks.
Yeah. Shoot.
What is the spell that's used? Is it sending?
Yes.
But typically with sending, right? Zori, you cast that. It's 25 words. How does it last? How does it work to make it longer?
Tasha does. It's not
Yeah, I do. I have it.
It's a rather complicated process. But basically it involves casting the spell several times onto each stone and sort of blending each casting in.
Ooh.
There's not a way to do that casting the spell.
No.
Ugh. Can you think of any other way that we could listen to a conversation that is private?
Well, there is detect thought. There is clairvoyance, clairaudience. Clairaudience is the one that you'd want.
Do you have we purchased a potion of clairvoyance.
Oh, that should work. That should
Do
work.
you have any more of those or a scroll?
I believe I have a scroll.
Because it's only 10 minutes, so if we had it where we could cast it twice. It is a 3rd level spell, and both bards and sorcerers can cast it, so.
Look at you.
I'm not entirely sure that I have it in a form that would work with bardic magic, but I could look.
Well, we also have a sorcerer, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can cast it from a mile away.
Now, sorcerers can read wizard scrolls, right?
I would imagine it's use magic item, right?
No, because if I could, then I could do like the things that I.
From a scroll is just like using.
Yeah,
magic item,
I think
right?
you can read it from a scroll.
Yeah. So while he looks that up, clairvoyance, you create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you, a place you have visited or seen. The sensor remains in place for the duration, cannot be attacked or interacted with. When you cast it, you choose seeing or hearing. As your action, you can switch between seeing and hearing. A creature that can see the sensor sees a luminous, intangible orb about the size of your fist. They've encountered it a lot on Critical Role recently. That's why I know it. So you can cast this orb.
This is clairvoyance or clairaudience?
Either.
It's both.
Yeah. Okay.
Spell is clairvoyance. You pick what you want, but you can switch it on an action for that 10 minutes.
Yeah, so every round you can flip between seeing and hearing if you want to. For the duration
for
of
10
the spell.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And if we can cast it back to back, that gives us 20 minutes, and you can do it from a mile away. So if we know where they are, we don't have to be anywhere near it even, and you guys can see it.
So she comes back with a scroll case and says, "Found it."
And how much will this cost?
Oh no, you're teasing me here.
No, we'll pay what? We'll pay. It's my money. I understand that there is a cost to you to create the item. And so while I understand you might not want to profit because we're here on behalf of BA, I would like to compensate you for your time in crafting the item.
Oh. How unusual.
She's a paladin.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm a good... It doesn't have anything to do with being a paladin. It's being
she's a paladin.
Well, it's basically just material cost and time.
How much would you sell it for?
200.
Gold pieces?
Yes. For a third level spell, yes.
Would 100 gold pieces cover your expenses?
Yes.
Is that enough?
Milady, you're bearing the Lord Abbot's token. It's my responsibility to give you whatever you need.
Well, I pull out 100 gold.
I will gratefully accept.
We appreciate your assistance and your discretion.
Of course. Understood.
Thank you. I hand it to Zorith. All right. We can...
As we head out, what is your idea? Is that one of us should use the clairvoyance while Tasha, or give them both to her, or what?
So you can cast the scroll, she can drink the potion. So my thought is she will go invisible and fly and see where they are. She can then drink the potion and hear for 10 minutes without having to worry about being in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then she can tell you.
How am I going to tell her?
Where via send, because once you see it, you don't have to, once you know where they are, you can come down. You can be a mile away and cast it.
True.
So we just need to know where they are. So you can come back down, go across the street, listen, and then send Zori a sending spell, tell her where they are, and then she can listen for 10 minutes.
Okay.
I
I think that'll work.
Yeah, because you don't want to be just hanging out right outside there, and if she dispels all kinds of magics and stuff, you'll fall, etc.
So all we have to know is where they are, and then
right. So
all
we
of us
go to their shop today and open all the windows if we can, right?
We don't even need to anymore
Yeah, we don't need to open the windows
because
we have Because the spell allows us to listen without that.
Right, but it's the little orb in the room they're in, so we don't have to see anything or hear anything. We're going to hear through the spell.
You just have to know where they are, and since you've been on all 3 floors, you know the layout of all 3 floors. You just have to know which floor they're on.
And that Tasha's going to figure that out with the boots and her invisibility spell.
Are the windows clear?
Mostly.
Like frosted?
Well,
they're not perfect.
They're not perfect. They're also framed in different colored stained glass depending on what floor. So there's actually only really kind of like an arrow slit that's clear glass.
That's interesting. Okay.
Okay, but she'll be invisible, so
right.
Close and look.
Right.
Smart.
And then we don't even have to be, we can be down the road just keeping a lookout.
Yeah.
Very wise. I like this idea. Clairvoyance is a smart choice.
Yeah, because I was like, we can't scry, right? We got scry, so what's the next best thing?
That would be great.
And scrying is short, too. Scrying is only...
And you don't always make a success. Now, if she casts the invisibility, she'll see the orb, maybe. But...
Correct.
But if she cast the invisibility, she might see Tasha anyway.
Right.
Because they may have somebody outside keeping a lookout, too.
Right.
All right.
Well, yeah, you might want to be invisible and fly from the fist all the way there so that nobody sees you cast it, because I bet they'll have somebody watching from outside.
Okay.
Now you just need to figure out when.
Yeah, right. That's the part.
That is the part.
So we need to get the horsey where he can watch.
Yeah. The horse is going to be our lookout.
Because he can tell me when somebody goes into the shop after hours.
So we can just wait at the inn and wait for the horse to tell us.
There's 2 doors, one from the garden and one to get in, correct?
Correct.
So we need 2 lookouts, really.
Can you see both from one vantage point?
You could if you were high enough.
The horse is not, right?
Right.
Okay, then Tasha, we just need to be on a roof somewhere distant.
Okay, so let's go find... Let's go figure out a roof, walk around and figure out a roof that would be most advantageous.
Yep. Because we can look around the town today.
So we're sightseeing, we're just walking through town, we're looking at stuff.
We're walking, and we're stopping.
We're pacing.
We're window shopping. We go into a couple shops just so we're like discreet.
Right. We look around.
All right. Everybody, please make perception checks.
Oh, I was like, those are good numbers. Oh, that's because they're Arabelles.
She's obsessed with our character sheets.
23.
30, 20.
I know. What's wrong with her?
19.
What'd you get, Pam?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You're looking around. You see a couple places that might work. Are you wandering past his store?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, not like back and forth a ton of times.
Right.
So, like we walk the square.
Okay. You walk past his store. You take a left, start sort of diagonally heading kind of back toward his shop a little, but not really. And you see a large 2-story building on the left with a peaked roof that the flat of one of the sides is facing his shop. Seems to be, at least from what you can tell from the outside, some sort of warehouse.
Okay. When does the sun go down?
Usually about 6:30-ish.
Okay. About 6:45. I make my way over. Well, first of all, we should.
Oh, wait, yeah. What kind of business does it look like to be?
A warehouse.
Yeah.
Is there any markings on it?
No, it looks like it's a privately owned warehouse. Doesn't seem to be part of a company per se.
We could ask Susanna about it.
Yeah. Let's go back to the inn. Ask Susanna, who what the deal is with that warehouse.
She
The
doesn't.
boots let you fly for 4 hours, just FYI.
She doesn't know right offhand, but she says that she'll send someone to find out.
Okay. So let's see. I use my disguise kit.
All right.
That's
We
deception.
need to wait for her to come back and let us know, though,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I wait. Sorry.
Well, after your day of shopping, I'm sure you're going to need dinner before this all goes down anyway. So, right around the time you're finishing dinner and the sun is starting to get pretty low on the horizon, you see a gentleman come in, walk up to Susanna and hand her a sheet of paper, and she flips it open, looks at it, hands him a coin, and sends him on his way. She tucks it into her apron and then walks over to say, "So, is there anything else that I can get you for your meal? Some more to drink, perhaps?"
I would love another ale.
Just tea for me.
All right. She goes, Zorith, anything?
No, I'm fine with what I have.
She goes and comes back with a glass, a mug of ale in her left hand, and a teacup on a saucer in her right hand. And just as she gets to the table, she stumbles and spills the tea on the table. She sits the mug down and says, "I'm sorry. I'm feeling very clumsy today. I will clean it. Do not worry yourself." And so she leans down, and while she's mopping, she says, "It belongs to the Sentinel Shield Guild. They are basically security for caravans for hire, and they also store things securely. So there is a guard on duty at all times, but the guard stays inside the warehouse, so if you were quiet, you could wander around with no problem." I will bring another cup of tea. I apologize again.
Oh, please, no apology necessary. Thank you, Susanna.
So she goes back, and about a minute later comes back with another cup of tea and sits down and gives the table one last wipe and goes back.
crafty boots, you can be stealthy on top. Okay.
Okay. So I go upstairs.
All right.
And disguise myself, change into dark clothing.
So are just you going and we're waiting here?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have sending prepared so you can tell us.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we will be ready to bolt there.
Should we get closer? I mean,
How
how
far
far
are
are
we
we from? We're pretty far, right?
1 moment.
Yeah. Turns wise.
Let's see. Iron Fist is here.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're pretty.
Where is the Iron
Um,
Fist? See it.
You're probably 10 rounds at full movement.
That's too long. That's a minute.
Yeah.
They will kill her in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where can you guys? Well, I mean, you can't hang out on the roof with me, can you?
No, but just someplace
Well,
closer.
Good, because she can Misty step.
Right.
Where is the? I missed your ping the first time. That was my ping.
How? Okay, so not that far though. That big kind of gray square, that's BA's keep, right?
Yes.
So that's not very far.
Nope.
So he might let us hang out inside the gate at his keep, and then we're only a couple rounds.
She can
Right.
also dimension door, just FYI.
Yes.
Right, you can get out if something happened.
Yes.
Okay, but we might
Dimension
want
door
to
and-
hang out at the keep, and we've been
Okay.
there before, so it wouldn't be that unusual for us to go there.
You should send a message to be. What time is it?
It's very close to sundown now.
Yeah, it's too
Because
late.
if we all go to BA's keep,
Oh, I can send him a sending. Duh. Okay.
we can all go to
Um,
BA's keep, and you could leave from there
Right.
to the roof, invisible, and no one would know you didn't leave BA's.
Right. So I will send a sending to BA.
All right.
Make sure you've got the right amount of
Words.
spells and stuff. Because that one's pretty high.
That is the 3rd level.
But invisibility, she's casting from the.
The loot.
The loot and the
And-
fly is your boots. So
Right.
So-
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't need to.
Got the potion, so.
Right. And I've got dimension door if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and sending is 3rd level, but it's fine. Okay. So, Lord Abbot, this is Tasha. Oops.
Can we come hang out tonight? Immediately.
Would you mind if we hang out at your gate, which is nearby the meeting place for Drogo? You can respond.
Drogo? What's Drogo got to do with this? Well, you'll tell me when you get here. Sure. Come on in.
Okay.
Yay, that's funny.
Okay.
Sure, come on in.
So let's mosey over.
Are we ready? We're ready, right? You got
Yeah,
my
we're
boots on.
ready. I've got the potion.
I've got
You've
the
got-
scroll.
Got the scroll.
All right, let's head on over to the keep.
Okay. So we head over to the keep, knock on the gate.
Excuse me. The door opens less than a minute this time. You see BA. He's like, come in, come in.
We go in.
What's Drogo done now?
Briefly.
Right. As it turns out, Drogo is helping the Jogravanans and is being paid handsomely for his silence.
They're going to kill him, though, so I don't think that's...
Most likely.
Yeah.
And the meeting place of the Jogravanans is at his store this evening.
So, what's the plan? Are we trying to take them alive? Are we just killing them?
First, we're going to listen.
Yeah, we were just going to gather some intel first and find out what they're doing. So I am going to go sneak up on the Sentinel's roof so that I can watch and see when they arrive. And when they arrive, I am going to get close enough I'm going to cast invisibility on myself. And then I'm going to go check out Drogo's store and find out where they're actually having their little meeting in the store. And then I'm going to use this clairvoyance or clairaudience potion and listen. And that's going to last for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to send a message to Zori, and Zori's going to cast another clairvoyance or clairaudience spell so that we can listen for a full 20 minutes. And that should give us enough intel.
A bit, at least. Something.
Kind of tell us what they're planning.
And then we'll tell you, and then we can figure out what to do from there.
That's really complicated, but sounds decently thought out.
We're trying. I don't want to just go in, swords, swords first.
Because if they get away, they're nothing.
Before we find out what their plan is.
And she's high level enough that with 4 of us, I know that we were fighting quite a few people, but she's got the ability to cast some things that we cannot.
There was 5 of us and we couldn't stop her.
Yeah.
And we don't know what else who else she has with her, how strong they are.
Yep.
And so we need more info.
Well, Drogo has some power. I've seen
really?
that. A little.
Yeah, so then we just need to be sneaky and stealthy and listen in.
Yeah. But you know what I'm going to do?
Yes.
Hold on a second. He walks over and pulls a rope, and you hear high overhead, you hear a bell ring once.
What did you just do?
Summon the messenger.
Oh.
Having everyone on alert is probably a good idea.
Well, I'm going to do a little bit more than that. So, Arabelle, Zorith, you're going to stay here?
Yes.
While she goes? All right, then we're going to have more company. And there's a knock at the door. He goes over and leans down and says something to the person outside the door and then closes the door. He says, all right. Well, I just sent a message to the Aecathan post, the military post. They're going to send half a dozen guards over here.
Discreetly?
Well, no, but I'm having them send people all the time, so it's not going to look any different. They're not going to be coming in the front door. They're going to be coming in the guard entrance.
Gotcha. So it won't look any like we're summoning an army to crash their meeting.
No, I'm gonna get half a dozen. So it's an honor guard basically. That's what it'll look like.
Okay. Be careful, Tasha.
Yes, of course. Okay. So I head over to the Sentinel building. And I check around to see where the guard is.
Inside, right?
Yeah, I know he's inside, but I'd like to see if I can see him, or at least make sure that he's not going to see me.
You don't see a guard.
Okay.
You remember that Susanna told you the guard would be inside the building.
Okay. Then I'm just going to use my boots and stealthily go up onto the roof.
All right. This is the building. Oh, I got to get the right cursor here. This is the building.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead and drag your token wherever on that building you want to be. Now remember, the building is basically cut in half horizontally. So you're going to want to be on the top side somewhere. So you're just kind of peeking overhead.
Kind of in the
There,
middle
yeah.
somewhere, right?
Which building? This building?
This one.
Which one?
Go that way.
You got to go to the right.
This one? The other right?
Keep going.
Keep going. The same direction you're going.
You're on the wrong roof.
Yep, you got to go 2 buildings east. So maybe zoom out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Almost. There we
There we
go.
go. Okay.
Where's Drogo's building?
Yeah.
Drogo's building is the one place you can't see.
On the map.
Yeah.
Down there.
So I should
Wait,
be like right
she can't
there.
see it from where she's at, or just
No,
we
can't see inside it.
Got it.
Okay, I gotcha.
Actually, you should be up here.
Oh.
Because
okay.
remember, it's a roof like this. So you want to be up toward the peak of the roof, but on the far side.
On the
So
back
you're
side.
just kind of peeking over the top.
So right there?
No. Come down one.
Like right here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And now, I need you to make a stealth check.
Okay.
You're
22.
right.
Yeah.
What?
You are able to be completely silent.
Okay.
You hear no activity from below.
He's sleeping.
Well, he rolled a 6.
Those boots, they let you and barely touch down, so it should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still needed to make the check though.
Yep. No, I know.
Okay.
All right. So you're sitting there for a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It gets dark. You have dark vision, right?
No.
Oh,
I'm human.
yeah. It gets really dark,
That's okay.
and you're about 50 feet away from the entrance to Drogo's shop.
Oh,
When
no.
the door opens, light should come out, right?
If they have lights on in the store.
I'm human. Always human. The only person who has dark vision is Zori, right?
Both of us.
Oh. Whoops. The
All right.
only human in the group.
Can Tasha see in the dark?
No, knowing that. She would know that.
I would know that. Yeah.
Right. She isn't she is an intelligence officer. She knows in planning a stakeout she
Right.
can't. So,
Right. So, yeah.
would have had to take Zori with her.
Yeah. But how do we do that?
Yeah,
Give
no.
Misty steps to the roof with you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I stay with VA.
All right.
Because
So
we
then-
planned all this out, we would have thought of the fact that Tasha can't see in the dark.
Then Zorith, put yourself on the map next to Tasha. Yep. All right. Then Zorith, if you would, please make a perception check.
Oh, dirty 20.
That's not bad.
Something catches your eye off to the east. You see a male half-orc.
I tap, and then I like hold my hand, like finger right in front of where she can see, like, hold a minute. And I whisper very quietly, she's heading there. She's heading there.
Okay.
She makes it to the steps. You see her knock on the door.
He's knocking. We're far enough away that they would not hear a whisper.
Right.
No.
So
the door opens and you see Drogo step out. He looks both directions and then holds his hand out, ushers her in. And he comes
Found
back
the
in
potion.
and closes the door.
All right. And I pat her on the back.
I quaff the potion.
No,
No?
not until you get there and know where they're at.
Right.
All right, fine. I cast invisibility on myself
Okay.
and I make my way down.
All right.
Over because you can flitter.
You can just
Now,
Right.
there are windows on either side of the front door.
Uh-huh.
There are 2 windows on the west side of the building in the garden and 2 windows at the back of the building.
Okay.
So,
I start at the front
all right.
and look in.
All right. Make a perception check.
$22.
It is very dim light. There
Mhm.
are like 3 candles.
Okay.
And as you look, you don't see anyone.
Okay. I flit over to the garden.
All right.
What the Hades?
Is that like second or third floor?
Yeah, look, I'm up by the second floor.
All right. Which window are you looking in?
The first. You said there's 2 on the garden side.
There's one right here,
Okay.
and the
I'll
other
try
one's
that.
down here.
All
Okay.
right. First one.
All right. Make a perception check. And you're looking in the
Sure.
second floor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
24.
24. Again, you see the shop and there's a couple candles lit, but you don't see any people.
All right. I go down to the first floor.
Okay, make another
I just
perception
kind of
check.
hover.
Have you checked the third yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
dirty 20.
Looks the same as it did from the front window, just a different angle on everything.
All right. 3rd floor. Ooh. 29.
All right. You see Granilla still as the half-orc.
Uh-huh.
And you see her waving her arms. Make an Arcana check.
$22.
She's casting some sort of divination spell. You suspect it may be see invisibility.
Ooh, I hide.
All right, make a stealth check.
Go down, go down.
24.
24. Okay, you manage to just slide just in time. You see kind of a poof inside the room, and
So now we know what floor they're on, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I
Come join
go
me.
back. I go back to the roof
Probably, yeah.
okay.
if I can get my mouse to work properly. Okay.
Oop.
Mm.
One more.
There we go.
That'll work.
And I quaff the potion.
All right. Where do you put the orb? Where does the orb appear? Just ping the map.
I don't know how to ping a map. I'm not prepared for pinging.
So I'm not there. You can't move it once it's placed.
That's
Right.
correct.
And you know she casts see invisibility. You have that spell, don't you?
Yeah.
How long does it last?
It's an hour.
Ugh.
See invisibility is an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if you had it, because you would know that.
Yeah, I do have
You
it.
want to place it where you can hear, but she wouldn't be able to see the orb.
Yeah. How do I ping things?
You
Seriously?
were doing it earlier. Just hold down and click. I mean, just hold down the mouse button.
So Jeff,
Oh.
we were in the building, right?
Yep.
Where is she as far as where the stairs were to go up to the 3rd floor?
Let's see. The stairs would be on the. The stairs are basically back here.
So
The map.
clear audience, you put the orb in the same room.
You're gonna hear through the orb, so wherever you put
Right.
it, you hear her. But wherever it is, if it's within her eyesight, she will see it.
Which floor is, so what items were on that floor?
That was the 3rd floor. That was the one we went to with him. We bought all the spices.
Yep.
So can I? So I place the orb on a shelf behind the spices. What do you think?
Whatever's near, yeah, because you know where she is and what was in that room. So
Right.
behind
Yeah.
something, under a table, something like that is where you would.
Ooh, under a table. Yes. In the center of the table.
Okay.
We got a spy on our side.
All right.
That's what you do. You know these things. Just because you don't, Tasha does.
Make a deception check. And that will be your placement of the orb.
22.
22. Okay, remember that.
That's my 22.
All right. And you immediately hear Drogo saying, "Well, now that we're all together, I think it's perfect timing for introductions, don't you?" And you hear a voice.
They're gonna kill him.
You hear a voice
Not right away.
you're familiar with say, "Very well. Why don't you have them go first?" There's a little bit of silence. You hear the sharp intake of breath. And then a voice you've not heard before. "I am Kathia Zaide." "Yes, that tells me nothing, dear." "No, it tells you everything. I am 10th rank in the School of Stealth. Wait. You're from the temple?" "Yes, of course. Why wouldn't I be? What else would I be doing in this God-forsaken place?" "I see. And who is your large friend?" "Oh, that is Zance. He does not speak very much." And you just hear...
Charming.
"His job is not to speak. His job is to make certain that I can speak." "Well, now that we're all acquainted, yes, so, how can I help facilitate this? This meeting of the minds, as it were?"
Oh, Jesus God.
You hear spellcasting. And you recognize Granella's voice. And then you hear...
Wow.
There, that will be much better for all involved, I'm certain. Very well. It is interesting to find another temple agent here. I am Park Naxrimus, 9th rank. School of Infiltration. Oh, I see. So that is how you managed to get here. What do you really look like? Take off that horrible disguise. No sound, but then you hear... There. Happy? Ugh. No. You are a tiefling. That does not make me happy at all. Well, I'm terribly sorry, dear, but I didn't have much say in the matter. Now, Drogo told me before I made it so he couldn't bother us anymore, at least for a while. That you actually had some success working rather close to the capital, did you not? Oh, yes. We have organized a large group of bandits. They are laying waste to the supply chain. Excellent, but from where to where? Anything going in or out of Aermagh. But that is at behest of our benefactor there. Oh, I see. And might I know who this benefactor is? Perhaps. I'm not yet certain that I trust you. Well, I'm not sure exactly what I can tell you. I know. Let me tell you what I was doing in Thunder's Edge. I had in motion, at the same time, disgrace of a high-ranking member of their local guard. Barbarians, ugh. I had an ally who was working on destabilizing their precious inner enclave walls. Oh, and I managed to hoodwink a group of would-be adventurers. They took me into their home. That was such fun. Unfortunately, they brought reinforcements when I tried to face them down, and I had to flee. And now, they're here. They followed you. That is not possible. They had no idea what I looked like. No idea who I was, where I was. But they're here in town. And that's too much coincidence for me. So I'm looking for a plan out of town and perhaps new allies. Well, you see. And were I to bring you into this arrangement, would you by any chance have any experience working with bandits? Well, I've worked with sellswords. I've worked with mercenaries. Are they really any different? No, they are not. So what would you have me do? And the spell ends.
Zori, cast your spell.
You have to scroll very quietly. And she tells me where she put hers.
Okay.
And I will put mine right exactly in the same space. Probably off by, 5 inches.
All right.
What do I roll?
If you're
Was
putting
deception?
it, if you're putting it, yeah, in deception.
Come on, sweet mama. 21.
Nice.
Yeah, 14 and 7. Not the best roll, but pretty good in deception. And hers was 22.
Yep.
All right. Your hearing sort of clicks back in halfway through the lower, sultrier voice spellcasting. You can make an Arcana check. It'll be at disadvantage because you're only hearing part of the spell.
Okay. I'll take it.
Can I do that too?
No, you can't hear anymore.
Ah, shit.
You handed the phone off to Zorith.
Okay.
Well, I got a 15 and a 16, and what was it?
Arcana.
15 is 20, 16 is 21.
That's enough. It's another detect invisibility spell. Or see invisible.
Guys are hidden under the table. That's good, good, good.
Yeah. It's best I can do. It's already there and it's too late.
And you hear her voice say, "It is not that I don't trust you, it's just that I don't trust you because I don't know you. But it seems that you are telling the truth. I do not sense anything hidden. I do not see any listening devices." Very well. If you will give me your pledge by your rank, we could use someone else to help keep the assorted bandit groups in line. Very well. I, Park Nextremus, 9th rank in the Temple of Intelligence. I bind myself to your cause until such time as we both agree to separate. Very well. Welcome. You are now a bandit chieftain. How does it feel? It feels no different. Now tell me, who am I working for, really? Well, it took a lot of persuading. But we found someone in Aermagh who was willing to work with us and give us information on the shipping that would be coming and going in exchange for a cut of the profits of whatever we were able to take. And he is someone that is able to hide in plain sight because he is not directly related to any of the merchant ability and commerce, except for his position promoting such as a religion. His name is Godfrey Allerton. He is
that asshole. Sorry.
He is the coin master of the Church of Eidos in the capital city. You will want to meet with him. I will contact him and let him know that we have recruited you and that you will be on your way. The passphrase to let him know who you are: gold can buy a lot of freedom. And will he give me a passphrase in return? No, of course not. You have to prove yourself to him, not the other way around. We will help you get out of the city. But after that, you will be traveling on your own. We have our own way of getting back, and we will be returning to the main bandit camp directly. Very well. Well, it seems a new chapter in my life has begun. Won't that be fun? I will say one thing. travel overland. The ships on the river have become quite adept at fighting back our attacks. And especially if you see one called the Clever Sprite, give it a wide berth. Very well. Well, how soon can we leave? Well, we can go right now.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Nikki's got her hand up.
Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work because it's under a
Oh,
table.
it's under the
I would like to switch, if I can,
Never mind.
go around and see any appearance or whatever. It doesn't change the orb, right? It doesn't make any
No,
sound.
No.
but I forgot it was under a table. I don't know if you'll be able to see anything.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
You flip it to visual. Make a perception check at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. You dirty bastards. Let's go. Let's go! Natural 20 and a 14. So perception,
Mm-hmm.
18. 18.
18. Just before the spell ends, because you're getting on toward the end of it, you catch sight of the two of them walking toward the stairway at the back of the room.
Mm-hmm.
You see you believe the woman who has been speaking. She's human. About 5'6". Dark brown hair. She has very, very pale skin. Very red lips. Otherwise, she's dressed in a rather nondescript black robe. She has a short sword in a sheath at her hip. Beside her, hulking over her, you see the snout of a dragonborn poking out of a hood. The scales are black. He is wearing half plate with a great axe across his back, a heavy crossbow over his shoulder, and he's wearing some sort of symbol that seems to be permanently affixed to the armor.
Okay. Can I see Granella?
Yes.
And what does she look like?
The tiefling.
The redheaded tiefling that you fought.
Okay.
And you now know her real name as well.
Park.
Next Remus.
Next Remus.
Yeah, I don't know if I know it yet. Oh, yeah, no, I would because she heard it and I heard it, I think. Okay. Pam, you're mute.
Make a religion check, Zorith.
Oh, natural 19. Boy, I'm getting good. 21.
21.
Yes.
You see that the symbol on the armor looks like 3 teardrops. And they glow dimly with a sickly green light. You know that is the symbol of Gadola. Or excuse me, Jadola. I just looked at my own pronunciation here. She is the goddess of poison, disease, and revenge. She's a favorite of sadists, jilted lovers, and poetic justice.
Interesting.
So it would appear, based on his equipment, he's a paladin. And just before the spell winks out, you happen to rotate the view and you see Drogo in the corner like this.
Oh. Is he stone or is it just
frozen?
Frozen. Okay. Okay, and then I push both of our heads like back down, and then I peer over just a tiny, tiny bit.
All right. How long do you wait?
She's got 4 hours. I've got all the time in the world. Like another hour, maybe.
Okay.
Do I see them come out?
You see the door open.
Uh-huh.
And then close again just a few seconds later, but that's it.
They're visible.
Yeah, we're gonna wait here for a while.
I send a sending to Arabelle.
All right, count them out. 25 words.
Arabelle. It's Granella and the two we met before.
We'll stay here a bit and then head back. We're okay or whatever.
Gotta go to Aermagh.
Yeah, they're going to Aermagh. Oh.
Waiting here a bit.
Waiting here a bit. That's it. You can respond.
I'll wait for you at BA's so we can be seen heading back.
Okay.
And we can fill him in. So all I say to BA, because I don't know anything else, is I think we're going to have to leave first thing in the morning for Aermagh. Do you know the quickest way for us to get back?
Something in the nature of an emergency?
I believe so. I don't know what happened yet. They're going to come back here and tell us, but they said that they're heading to Aermagh.
I might be able to call in a favor. If it is an emergency, let me know and I'll see what I can do.
Okay. They're going to come back here. They're just waiting to make sure they're not seen, and then they're going to come back here. I presume they'll tell us both everything, so you know. Probably don't want to send any messages via the far lamps because we don't know where they've infiltrated.
Ooh.
But I can get us an audience when we get back with what's his name? I have contacts with Lord Bonethane, so when we return, I'll be able to fill him in through his team.
Lord Bone thing, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the other guy's name though.
Captain Warbender?
No, though Tasha will tell him. Oh, what's his name? The guy.
Can you help him a few bars?
Wait, which guy? Tell me what he is.
He's the, well, if I could remember that, then I could tell you.
Okay.
Hold on. No.
Seneschal?
Is that what his name is? My dude.
Oh, your dude, Father Delbas?
No. I'm looking it up. 1 sec.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Please.
Hold, please. Oh, it's not in my. His guy that works at the thing.
Is it Brymore Harriman?
Yeah. Maybe. He's like his advisor guy.
Yes. Oh gosh. It's been a while since I've thought about him.
His Seneschal, yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that Harriman?
Yeah. Right, because I can get to him. I might not. I probably have met Lord Bone Thing, but not enough that I can walk up to the door and ask to see him. I can get us in through Harriman. The Lord Seneschal. That's what I tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And as you sit and wait for Tasha and Zorith to arrive back at the keep, this is a good time to take a break.
Good job, y'all. That worked. Good job.
Plan.
Go us.
Yeah. Some good rolls.
Yes.
Yes,
And
I am
some
not lying. They have
Crappy
been all-
rolls on their part.
Woohoo.
Well, we've been
But
rolling good.
putting it under the table, good plan. Because they're not going to go look under stuff. So.
No.
Right.
I would if I were trying to be honest.
But she cast it before you guys did the thing too, so there wasn't anything there. Now the other one
Right.
cast it. I was a little nervous, but
Right.
All right. We'll be back in 15.
Oh yeah, 15.
Talk to you then.
Yoo-hoo!
And welcome back, everyone. All right. Shortly after you pass the message that Tasha sent along to BA, Tasha and Zorith arrive. Well, you hear a knock at the door, and BA goes and opens it, and there they are.
I give them each a hug because I'm glad they're back safe.
I'm back.
We're fine.
I know.
There wasn't a whole lot of danger.
So we give them the general breakdown.
We know the names of both of these women now.
Granella is Park, Nix Ramus. Katia Saite.
Is the other woman.
Zance is the name of the... And I tell them about the Dragonborn, Black Scales.
And the insignia.
And the insignia.
Which I draw.
Jadola?
Well, you can't draw.
Oh, you already said it, right? Or
Yeah,
do I need to...
Jadola.
Jadola. Do you know what it looks like?
When she describes it, Tasha and Arabelle both make religion checks.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Religion. 18.
You know the same basics that Zorith knows. It's the goddess of poison, disease, and revenge.
Got it. The other thing, we tell about our trials and tribulations with Gottfried Ellerton. But one thing I want to point out, or a couple things, is how will I get there? You need to go overland. So it's going to take her a while to get to Aermagh. But also to the point of them not necessarily not kidnapping, because you would be doing it with the Bone Thane's permission, but to not infiltrate, but if we can get
You got to get there before them because we have the password, right?
Right. But what I was going to say is, even if we give somebody the password, if they could do a disguised self and put Gottfried under like lock and key because he's doing like bad things, and they disguise self, she won't know.
That
he won't know it's not him, but they would be disguised self. So even if Katia and Zance were to accidentally see
unless they had some sort of dispel magic type thing, but
well, I mean,
yeah, we've got to beat them to Aermagh. I heard that part from Tasha's message. BA said if it was an emergency, he might have a means for us to get there quickly.
Well, what will we do? Like, what are we going to do once we get there? Like, there's nothing that we can do.
We need to go see Lord Bone Thane.
Well, correct, to tell him all the things.
And figure out what they think we should do or they want to do.
Okay.
I'm going to send a sending to Warbender and tell him
we have news and we'll be there soon.
I'm going to tell him that
we have 25 words, so
well, write it down.
How fast?
Write it down ahead of time and see if you can, just pull up Word.
How fast do you think your means would get us to Aermagh?
Do you have a transportation circle?
A teleportation circle? Yes, but
yes, sorry.
That's not the issue. We need one on the other end. I have someone I can tap to cast the spell, but they need to know the runes.
How many more sendings do you have, Tasha?
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
how many have you cast so far?
Oh. Well, we'd have to do it tomorrow.
Do you have one left?
Hold, please.
And you could use higher level spells if you haven't. You can
that's
use higher
true.
level spell slots.
That's true. Where the
I think you
devil
sent
is
one
that?
to. You want to send one to Arabelle.
Okay.
And you've sent one to BA.
That's two.
Two today so far.
I have one more slot in 3rd level, and I haven't used any of my slots in 4th level.
Okay. So
Okay.
about
Warbender's a general, right?
Captain.
Captain.
Oh. Okay.
All you need to say is Warbender Tasha here, right? So you keep it.
or just
I don't even know
captain.
if you need to say his name.
No, you
Just
can,
Captain.
Tasha here.
you can just say
It's Tasha.
it's Tasha or Tasha
Question.
reporting. You know.
Would Obris?
That's who I was just thinking. Can he come get us and take us?
Yeah, because he's been to Aermagh. I assume he's been to Aermagh.
And hopefully, if he's been here, he can pop here, get us, take us there, and then he can go back.
Yeah. Pick up some oranges on the way. Send him a sending tomorrow.
Well, she can still message him tonight. She's got 4th level slots.
Maybe I should work on my 25 words.
Yeah, without a teleportation circle, if somebody has just teleport and they've been there, they can take us.
Right.
Do I know who might be a high level magic type person in Bone Thane's circle?
No.
What's the guy's name? Hold, please.
Allerton?
Yes. We're working for the coin master for Allerton.
Right. But they're not going to be able to do anything till we get 25 words, and they're going to give them enough info to move on him.
Right, and we don't want them to necessarily move on him before we know more. Just keep an eye on him, I guess.
Okay. Fine. Tasha reporting. We have intel on the Jogravanans. Keep an eye on Allerton. He's involved.
Love it.
We will be there shortly. Okay, that's really enough, don't you think?
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect.
All right, there you go. I send it.
All right. There's a pause. And then you hear message received. I assume Coinmaster Allerton will assign someone. Make haste. Situation here worse.
Great.
Crap.
Of course, like, why would it be better?
It's not one thing, it's 50 things. Haha, hashtag D&D.
Hashtag oh shit.
Hashtag what else is fucking new?
Right.
Okay.
All right, so potentially you have 2 sending spells left.
Mm-hmm.
So, BA, the person needs a teleportation circle. They can't just do teleport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, they could, but I don't really want them away from the keep for a day.
But they could take teleport and then use teleportation circle to get back, right?
Ooh.
Because they have a sigil here.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, the only problem is I don't think she's ever been to Aermagh.
Okay. So, do you want to hear my 25 words?
Who are you sending to?
Say them necessarily.
Hold on. Oh, but this, we're not necessarily sending yet, right? Because that's if we need Obris.
Yeah, just hold, please. Just wait, because
Okay. Right,
Is
you're
it that-
crafting the message. I got it.
what did you?
If
I'm sorry, BA. Did you have some other way for us to get there?
I was thinking a teleportation circle.
No, but there isn't.
She can cast it, and you just step in and go. We just need to know the runes on the other end to tune the spell to get you to the right place.
But if you do teleport and we describe it, isn't there something where
Yes,
like, if
but
I've got something that is from there that helps? Isn't there something like that?
That's like scrying. I don't know about teleport.
A house rule on a show we watch. Associated object. That's what it is. On the teleport, you're always on target if you have an object from there or something.
if you've been there. Otherwise, you don't know it's from there.
So she would also have to have something from there.
Yeah,
But I'm
basically,
saying,
she would be
my locket that is from my house.
she would be casting it at description.
I thought, but if you look at the thing, the associated object is you possessed an object taken from the desired destination within the last 6 months, such as a book, bed linen. Then there is no off target. And we have stuff from my house, so she should be able to teleport us to my house.
That's Trixie.
Yeah, as long as you have something, and we haven't been gone for 6 months.
Right. But again, I'm saying that's with the idea that you are casting the spell and you know this object is from a specific place at your destination.
Yeah.
She has no clue.
Right.
You could pick up a rock and say, this is from Aermagh.
Right. It means nothing to her.
Right. If you were casting the spell, absolutely.
Shoot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nice try.
I was reading what it said. I thought it was
right.
Yeah, that's under the assumption that it's the spellcaster who has an object.
okay.
Ooh. All right.
This is what I have for Obris. Not that we're sending it yet. It's
right.
Long story. Do you have the ability to teleport us from Remane Keep to Aermagh? Also, if you can bring some oranges.
Teleport us today.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's urgent or something.
Okay, and then so urgent makes 25 words exactly.
Oh, perfect.
Does that sound like a good message to leave?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. It's Tasha. Long story. Do you have the ability to teleport us from Remane Keep to Aermagh? Also, if you can, bring some oranges. Urgent.
Just say fruit. Because I want something. I want some cherries.
Oh,
yeah.
Can you bring
fruit? And, yeah. Bring
us fruits. Instead of bring some oranges, bring us foods.
Fruit.
Bring us foods.
Fruits.
Well, it wasn't all fruit.
Yeah, it was.
We need fruits and nuts.
Oh, well, I mean, technically, those acorns are fruit. They're out of a tree.
It's Tasha. Long story. Do you have the ability to teleport us from Remane Keep to Aermagh?
So maybe you could say, instead of "Do you have the ability?" Can you get us right?
Yeah.
Can you take out some
teleport?
Need teleport from Remane to Aermagh.
There we go.
Say fruits and
Need
nuts.
teleport from Remane to Aermagh. Urgent.
Can you bring us
Urgent there, not urgent behind the fruits.
Yes.
And then
Can you bring us nuts and fruits?
also, can you bring us magic foods?
There we go.
So I'm just saying those acorn charisma bonus might come in handy with what we have to do.
Yeah.
That's 19. It's Tasha. Long story. Need teleport from Remane Keep to Aermagh urgent. Also, can you bring us magic foods?
That's so funny.
Can you bring us magic foods? Is that what we would like to say then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what Tasha says.
Yes.
All right.
So I send that and I mark it.
Few moments, and then you hear Remane? Go see Lord Bronanville. I'm sending something that should help. No fruit. I'm back in the tower.
Oh.
Darn.
Maybe he's sending us the sigil.
Could be.
Well, let's go see the person.
That's BA. That's who we're. That's
Yeah,
his house.
you're
Oh.
there.
Oh, that's
And-
hilarious.
Just about 20 seconds later, you hear and you see a scroll appear in front of him and drop to the floor.
Oh, that's useful.
Send object.
He reaches down and
Probably teleportation.
picks it up
still.
and looks and goes, "Oh, ask and you shall receive, I guess." Flips it around. It's a circle with lots of runes and drawings and
Sigil.
That will be helpful for whoever is going to send it to us to have anyway.
absolutely. Now it's possible. When do you want to go?
Eventually, I will be able to also
Cast.
cast that. We need to go gather our stuff.
And we should go tonight.
Yeah.
He reaches over and pulls that cord again, and you hear a single bell chime. He says, "I'll take care of it." A couple minutes later, he goes to the door, has a conversation, closes the door, says, "I've just sent a messenger to collect your stuff. I assume you have no issue with Susanna gathering it all
Of
to bring
course
it back?"
No.
We didn't have anything hidden anywhere, I don't think.
No.
Good, good, good.
And it's all in one room anyway. So
Oh, I wish I'd known that.
she knows.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Susanna knows.
All right. Well, in that case, oh, yes. Pulls the cord again, bell chimes. Couple
I
minutes
need one of
later,
those.
there's another knock. He goes over, has another conversation, closes the door, and says, "All right. Celia's on her way, or she will be as soon as she gets the message."
Did one of you say, well, because you guys repeated everything, did I hear when they were talking, they said they were disrupting shipping too, didn't they?
No.
I heard something about shipping.
Yes. When you go back to the mainland, because the ships on the river are wise and give the right, a wide berth. They have done well at
It was something with it was with the bandits and disrupt
because Tasha has keen mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I can remember their names, really.
Kathia and Xanth.
Yes, when Kathia was explaining to Park what they were doing, she said that they were disrupting merchant deliveries to and from Aermagh. At least to and from the south.
Okay. I thought I heard shipping at some point.
You did, and it was shipping / profits. He's Gottfried Allerton. Behest of benefactor because he is he's involved in that.
Okay.
Merchant deliveries.
It was around the Allerton thing. They were talking about shipping, which was different than the other stuff, and that clicked in my mind. I might be able to get us some information on if shipping has been targeted when we get home. I know somebody who does some shipping.
All right.
What time is it?
There's a knock at the door. It's probably going on midnight.
We have no idea where this circle is taking us in Aermagh either.
Right.
Right.
In the Bone Thane's Keep, they'd be like pulling swords at us.
We give back.
Oh.
We give back.
Medallion.
BA's medallion and say you borrow this. Please give back to Susanna.
Ooh. I don't think she's ever used it before. Wow. Okay.
We used it at discount, not
free.
Not free.
Well,
so they should still be okay with favor from you.
Appreciated. Not necessary, but appreciated.
Well, they all were willing to help, but it obviously would take a hit in their business, and it made me feel bad.
Schmolies.
You are a rare and good person, Lady Arabelle. And you hear a knock at the door. He goes over to get it, walks in, walks to the door, opens it, brings the person in. You see a young woman, short brown hair, but immediately you have to reevaluate young because you see her hair is already streaked with gray. But she looks facially quite young.
It's not Susanna.
No.
This is our little teleportation young lady? Or is it?
Yes. He says, ladies, this is Celia. Celia, Lady Arabelle, Zorith, Lieutenant Tasha. Celia just nods and looks at BA and says, and what would you have me do this evening? We need a teleportation circle. Here are the runes. Ah, very well. Here? Why not? Very well. And she takes the piece of paper and goes over and puts it on the floor and kneels down and gets out some chalk and starts recreating the drawing on BA's floor.
It'll get used up. BA, it was honestly a pleasure to meet you, and so grateful we got to enjoy your company and share a meal. And I hope if you're ever in Aermagh, and we are, we can return the hospitality.
Wow, that would be that would be lovely. I can't remember the last time somebody cooked me food.
It would be our pleasure.
And if you find yourselves back this way, ooh, pulls the rope again.
Don't draw that last picture.
And
hold on this last sigil.
couple minutes later, there's a knock at the door. And you see a monk carrying all your stuff.
Go over and help.
Okay, he sits it down, and BA beckons him over and whispers something, and he says, and he heads back out.
He's gonna get you something.
And then a couple minutes later, there's another knock at the door, and he goes, oh, oops. Walks to the door, and you see him making this kind of gesture with his hands, and he's like, closes the door. I forgot I summoned another messenger. Oh well.
Will you tell Susanna thank you for us?
I will.
Thank you.
What was the third thing you were gonna do when you went?
It's on its way. Or will be shortly.
Oh, okay.
Start hauling everything onto my back. And...
Yeah.
Right around the time Celia's getting close to finish, there's another knock at the door. And he walks over and answers it and accepts something from the person at the door and closes the door. Walks over to Zorith and hands her a piece of rolled up parchment tied with a ribbon.
I accept it.
If you need to come back, that's our runes.
I put it inside my thing. I will guard it very carefully.
And it will bring you to the top of the west tower here.
Okay.
So, it's a little dusty up there. Not a lot of people use it. But
Do you have a circle, the runes to a circle in the Thunder's Edge?
I don't think so. I mean, there are people who know it, but I don't think we have it written down.
Lord Tremaine is having one installed at our property there, so when we have the runes, we will give you a copy.
Oh, that's very kind. I accept.
I think that in the times we are currently in, that fast travel may be required in the future.
Yes. Warbender told me that things have gotten worse in Aermagh.
Oh dear.
So,
Lord
there's
Bron-
going to be a swell time.
Lord Baron Anvil, it is prepared. All right, well.
Grab all our stuff.
Yep.
I give him a hug.
Oh, it was so nice meeting you. All of you.
We will see you again, I am positive.
I tap the parchment and I say, thank you so much for this.
Well, you found the Jogravanans and you got them out of my city. Or they left, but you knew who they were. You knew they were here, and now I know they're not here anymore.
Or we'll be gone in the next couple days.
Right.
And I'm sure we're leaving Drogo in your capable hands.
Yes, there's a search and seizure clause in the monastery's bylaws that I've never had opportunity to use.
Looks like you now own a general store.
Have you met anyone in town that you think would be good at running that place?
There's a young man there that was very sweet, but he's studying because he wants to go to the tower. There's another worker there, but I don't know who she is. I'm sure Susanna would know.
All right, I'll ask. All right, well, if you're ready, gather around the circle.
Yep. And then we have like 6 seconds, right? Once it's cast.
As soon as you see the flash. jump into
Thank
the
you.
circle.
Thank you, Celia.
Bart and Hilda. Hilda is the older woman, but I don't think she's good. Anyhow.
And she casts the spell, and as the last syllable rolls off her tongue, there's a flash, and the whole circle is streaming with energy that's floating rapidly up into the air.
We jump in.
Yep.
And you feel yourself just discorporated and flung heavenward. And then just about the time you're able to register that feeling, you feel yourself sort of solidify, and you are standing in a darkened room. Which, the moment you appear, you acknowledge that it's dark, and then torches on the wall immediately go woof. And you
Hope we don't get arrested.
You can see you are in a round chamber, and you're standing in a permanent teleportation circle.
Is what I know, is this Obris and the school, or is this something I've not experienced before?
Let's see. Make an investigation check. By the way, Celia gave you that scroll back before you left.
So wherever we are at, I have that
She didn't
scroll
keep
also.
it.
Yes. No.
Oh, okay. I presumed it was a circle in Aermagh, but maybe he took us to the temple.
I don't know. That's why I'm going to find out.
Make an investigation check.
12 plus, not very good. Investigation. 12 plus 2. 14.
You're not entirely certain.
Hmm.
But you
door?
have figured out that if you open the door, you probably get a better idea.
We'll find out. Now, do we have any insignias from Aermagh? I can't remember. Do we have token? Well, because we weren't that highly respected in Aermagh yet.
No.
Just in Thunder's Edge. So
You had Tasha.
yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say. I guess Tasha will hold out her military insignia when we open the door, hoping that will protect us from doom.
Yeah. And I also, now that we're back in Aermagh, my background feat or traits come into play a little bit too.
Okay.
So
We-
let's open the door.
Open
All right.
the door.
You open the door, and you see that there is a stone railing in front of you, about 3.5, 4 feet off the ground. And you see, as you look out, that you are basically coming out onto a circular walkway, and this railing goes all around the inside, and it seems to be open. You look up, and you see a spire, like the inside of a stone spired roof.
Now, does it look familiar to me?
Make another investigation check.
Peaches. The same damn thing. 12 and 2. 14.
You know that you have never been on this particular floor of this particular tower, but it does look like a tower in Azinor.
Okay. Okay. And I tell them that.
So do you know how to get to Obris's chambers then?
Yeah, I would go. This might be like a different tower. And I would start heading downstairs and
Okay.
All right. You start heading down the stairs, and basically there are stairs on either side of the tower, and they kind of go down, and then you walk over, and they go down, you walk over, they go down.
Right.
And you are about 10 floors up
Mm-hmm.
at the very top of the tower. As you make your way down, you kind of glance over the edge. You see that you are actually in the central tower of the campus. This is where all of the basic spellcasting theory classes are taught, all of the stuff that is in common with the 3 schools of magic. This is also where the administrative offices are. This is sort of the central hub where all 3 schools come together. You don't see a whole lot of people, but
You're right, because it's late.
Yeah, well, it's about... it's about 11 p.m. No, about 10 p.m. here. So.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, it would be the other way. 2 a.m. here.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 time zones.
Yeah.
No wonder he was like, "Why are you calling me so early?"
Or late.
And as you make it down to the first floor, you see one of the doors to the outside open, and you see Obris coming in. He looks bleary-eyed.
I run over and give him a big hug.
Oh, we're in the tower?
Yeah.
Oh my.
We're
I wasn't
way
expecting
closer.
that.
We're way closer to Aermagh. We're like 2 days.
Right, but he can
Right.
probably send us from here.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I am glad to see that you are unharmed. And now, I would like to see that my pillow is still unharmed. We can talk in the morning. Come,
Okay.
I will take you to a place where you can rest for the evening, and we'll talk at breakfast.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
So he takes you to one of the little guest cottages that they have on the grounds.
Okay.
And bids you good night again. And goes trundling off.
He may not have had the ability to take us all the way to Aermagh, or it may be like a thing where he has to like contact them. But we're much closer, but I guess we'll find out in the morning what his plans are to get us there.
So we're in the cottage.
Yes.
I pull out a couple of bags, and I give you each 225 gold.
Ooh.
Why?
Because the armor was from what we found in the dungeon. So
Oh,
that's what's left of the money split between the 3 of us.
all right. 225?
Yep.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
It seemed like the right thing to do.
Well, thanks.
You were adorable with
Other
all of
thing,
that.
because did you see them when we like pulled out the thing and they knew they were going to have to like give us that? They were not happy.
I mean, yes, I did.
And now, when we go back and want to do something, they'll remember that we were nice.
That's probably
and
true.
fair. And if people know that you're fair, they treat you fairly.
Maybe.
Yeah, pulling out that thing was, oh man, here's your free thing.
Right.
That one was a lot. Like 1,000 gold piece potion. That's a lot.
Right.
Right.
So, and I got new armor.
Fancy new dress.
That was Pam, not.
You did.
And while it's not magical, at some point I will be able to make it magical.
right.
That is true.
All
When I
right.
have a few thousand gold pieces.
So do you want to set a watch?
I don't think we need to here.
Not
Right?
No. I want to sleep. That's what I want.
Do you want?
You know what we could do? We could do the tiny hut and then just
Yes. Let's do the tiny hut. We'll do the tiny hut, and that way.
But yeah,
we should be
safe here.
Yeah.
All right.
The Jogravanans do not know we are at the tower.
No, they do not. They have no idea where we are. Probably.
Well, I mean, she might be able to scry or something, but.
All right. Well, the night passes very, very quietly. You all sleep, or in Zorith's case, meditate.
Omni.
And
when I get done with my 4 hours, I'm going to take them now, and then I'm going to get up and just walk around. Just kind of
all right.
leave the bubble and walk around school.
I'm sleeping the sleep.
You,
All right.
You sleep in the sleep.
Well,
You still have to chillax,
let's see.
right?
Me?
For your
After my 4 hours, yeah, right?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
4 hours is all you need of your trance, but don't you still have to do the rest of the long rest?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
That's it. She
That's-
needs the 4 hours.
That's
Okay.
why I do.
That's not how I thought they had explained it, but whatever.
Oh. That's why I just do 4 hours of the watch.
Well, even just walking around casually,
Yeah, as long as you don't do much.
that's not strenuous.
Okay.
You go wandering around, and about 8 a.m., you hear, Zori! You look. There's Obris coming over. I feel much more clear-headed this morning. Come, have you had breakfast?
Let's gather the others because they don't know where they're going.
Let them sleep, let them sleep. You and I need to talk.
Okay.
You're in trouble.
Okay.
So he takes you over to the Sorcerer's Tower and takes you back up into his office.
Okay.
There's coffee and some bread and some fruit. Nothing major, but
Right.
You know-
Continental breakfast.
you know he doesn't eat much in the morning, so. But he sits down and tucks in and gestures for you to do the same.
Said it's 8 a.m.
So you and Tasha have been sleeping for 6 hours.
By the time we get to bed.
Yep.
They're till 8. Okay.
Right.
I'm doing my prayers. Gotcha.
Okay. So he says, I have to tell you, I've only been back for about a week. But I've been spending all my time working on deciphering those books that you found.
All right.
And I have discovered some exceptionally interesting things.
Okay.
I have yet to tell anyone this, not even Indrus. But I've discovered two things that may very well change the world.
Oh.
First of all, and he starts rummaging around, and he pulls out a scroll and sits it down in front of you, face down, and then keeps rummaging, and finally pulls out another scroll, looks at it, and then puts it down in front of you and says, look at those two spells.
I open them up.
These are spells that you've never even heard of, let alone known. They're spells unlike anything you've seen before. One of them is a cantrip, and one of them is a first level spell. And he says, This is part of what I have deciphered from one of the tomes. If my translation is correct, it's an entirely new school of magic.
Oh my gosh.
I'm calling it Noctomancy.
Oh.
What on earth is that?
Yeah. What on earth is Noctomancy?
Read the descriptions. So,
I was like, did you send them to me?
No. Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Come on, baby. 17 natural. Arcana plus 5, 22.
All right. You look at the cantrip, and near as you can tell, this is... It looks like it's a spell to determine if someone other than you is currently in your dreams.
Ooh.
And
I love the fact that it's Noctomancy now. I was gonna guess that, but how cool.
The fact that you can cast it on someone else and see if anyone is in their dreams.
Oh wow.
That's rather cool.
And the first level?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, that one's not as good. 16.
This is a little bit more complicated, and given that it's an entirely different school of magic, it's a little hard to decipher just from reading the spell. But it looks like casting the spell gives you total clarity to recall any dreams that you had the night before.
That's
like,
cool.
instead of them being vague and muddled, you can recall them with crystal clarity. At least for a little while. Eventually it fades into normal memory again. But you would have time with this realization to be able to copy it down, so when it does fade, you have a record.
Mm-hmm.
But that, you kind of think that's...
These are amazing.
Yes, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there are... that's this much of the book. And the book is this thick.
Right.
But...
I'm excited for you.
Well, I'm excited for us. All of us.
Right.
There's a reason that these spells were created. I don't know why, and I'm not even entirely certain that they still work. Because I haven't tried casting any of them yet. I need to learn more. But if they work, they were created for a reason. They were created for a specific purpose. And I have no idea what that purpose is yet. I haven't gotten that far. But I did finish translating another book, which turned out to be a book of tales. I would love to call it history, but I'm not certain that it's factual. But there is one element to one of the stories that would seem to answer a question we've had for decades. The question of why, if the dragons who attacked with the orcs are only one of 5 shades, are there dragonkin with more than just those 5 shades? We know black, red, green, blue, What's the fifth one? Why can't I remember it?
White.
White. That's it. Thank you.
You.
We know those 5, and yet the dragonkin that have been born since the orcs and the dragons invaded, some of them are those 5 shades, but others are more metal-looking than colors. According to one of the stories in this book, again, provided I translated it correctly, but I think I did, there were good dragons in the world.
Oh.
What colors were they?
Well, yeah.
Copper, bronze, silver, brass, and gold.
Oh, are we awake yet?
No, that
No.
would be me asking that same question.
I'm praying you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Good dragons. That is world changing.
Yes, but that then would bring the question, where are they?
Right.
And why do none of us have any knowledge of their existence? Perhaps they all died out. Or perhaps they went away. I don't know. But this would suggest that perhaps there was at one time dragons that perhaps might assist us instead of attacking us.
Right. Ooh.
What I need is to find someone still living and old enough that they might know more.
I happen to know someone who might.
Really?
She's a little difficult to find, but
Who is this person?
she's the oldest member of the Sasaran that we met.
Oh. Yes, they would be difficult to find.
Mother Tassa Pranatil. Prunatiel. She's an elven sorcerer seer of the Sesfaran.
Sasaran.
Sasaran. They are nomadic, so they travel the roads between the bridge and Costas Wave and I believe Remane Keep. And I give him a brief description of what she looks like and also what actually, can I draw? Ermon Cesaran. Ermon Verzana. I give him a good description. I don't think I'm a drawer.
You see him sitting there. He looks like he's trying to remember something. And then gets up and walks over to a bookcase and grabs a book, opens it, tosses it. Third
Just
book,
like
he's like,
old times.
yes, this. Brings it back over and sits it down right in the food. Just starts flipping it through and says, yes, this passage. Apparently, they do travel in 3 seasons. Spring, summer, and autumn. But in winter, they disappear. No one has ever seen them in the winter.
They're smart.
Tasha obviously has the ability to send sending, but I feel it may be disrespectful to interrupt her.
Wait. I think there's something about that too. Oh yes. You can't.
Good. Well, I didn't want you to think that we weren't willing to help you, but also I don't think there's
the Susaran, historically, they cannot be contacted magically, they cannot be located magically. Something about them stymies even the most powerful attempts to scry, to send.
She was pretty amazing. She was pretty amazing. And then I say, she gave me this wand, and I show it to him. It makes it easier for my spells to land correctly.
Ah, yes. I am familiar with such things. Excellent craftsmanship, though it looks a bit old.
Probably is.
Well, while you are here, before you depart for wherever you're going next, I would ask you to take a stop at the library. Ask Indrus to point you to what little we have on the Susaran, and just see if there's anything in there that might help us find them. It strikes me that this is something that we should really investigate sooner rather than later. Things on the coast have gotten bad.
Okay. I'll look. I guess we should go wake the other two up, but how do you plan on getting us to Aermagh?
I will loan you horses.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. It does us a great service to be this close.
All right, off with you. If you have any more questions before you leave, I'm available.
Okay, thank you. And I go down and go find my friends.
All right.
And then we're going to actual breakfast.
You get back to the cottage just as Tasha is waking up.
You're awake already?
I went and had some knowledge exchange with Obris. Let's go to breakfast and I'll tell you.
Do you think we can see our friend while we're here?
Yeah, I think we might be able to see him at breakfast or at some point.
Oh, right. The young wizard.
Yeah.
Aaron. Yeah. Aaron Fellis. Because this is mainly the sorcerer school, and then we'll have to go to the wizard school.
Jeff?
Yep.
On our way to breakfast, my horse disappears from the stable in Remane.
Okay. All right.
The dude's like, what?
Here you go, have some nice oats! Takes him to the next horse. Here you go. Have some nice oats.
He's like, what did I do?
Crap, that was a really nice horse.
I hope they don't charge me for that later.
Susanna probably knows it was a magical horse.
Yeah. So I explained what he said. Now, the first level on the cantrip, just by looking at them, obviously I can't read them, but I was able to just look at them and see what they were, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I explained about the dragonkin. And I need to look at before we leave, I need to look at the library. So if we leave later this afternoon, or at some point.
So you tell us about the Susaran thing?
Yes, the Susaran.
I wonder if it's possible that she just knows when somebody needs her. And she may just appear on our path.
She may. I will do my research as best I can. I don't know how long it will take, but after breakfast, I'll lead you in the direction of horses and...
We should leave as soon as possible.
Right. And also I will see if we can get Aaron to meet us right before we leave. And then I am going to run over to the library very quickly, and we should be able to, hopefully, I will try to learn as much as I can and leave by lunch. Like right after lunch? Is that too long?
Not any later.
Right. Maybe we'll ask Aaron to meet us for lunch in the sorcery thing, and then we can eat quickly and visit with him. And I will learn as much as I can from the library.
All right.
You want us to go with you to study?
I can help.
read.
Oh yeah, if you want, absolutely. Once you're done getting the arrangements made for the horses. and
Well,
stuff.
Obris was doing that, right?
He said he could lend us some horses.
He said he could lend us some horses, but you're not probably going to see Obris.
Right, but
Yeah.
we don't need to
I
go.
will. I will go get horses.
Dose horses. Because she's already got her fancy one.
Right? Is your fancy one gonna show up?
Yeah, as soon as I cast a spell and summon him, he'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to go to the library and skim very quickly as many books as we can on the Susaran.
All right. Well, you get in there. Make a perception check.
Both of us or just her?
Are you going with them, Arabelle?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
A what check?
Perception.
25.
Oh, dirty 20.
Arabelle, you get in there. This is probably the largest library you've seen. It takes up 3 floors, and it's just shelves and shelves and shelves. But as you're looking around, you do see a familiar figure walk by. It's Indru's.
We have to whisper. Andrews.
Oh, hello. I didn't expect to see you here. Welcome. Why are you here?
Look at Zori.
I clap him on the shoulder and I'm like, well, we're doing some research right now. I'd love to know everything you have on the Susaran.
This is... Oh, yes. Yes.
The nomadic travelers. the
Yes,
Susaran.
yes. He closes his eyes for a second and you see his eyeballs moving. Yes, second floor. Gold shelves. Somewhere along the bottom, but they're labeled. There's only, I think, 4 tomes. There's not much.
Well, thank you for your help. Did you have fun discovering all the things at the...
Oh, it was fascinating. I'm still cataloging things that we brought back.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Interesting. You've been back a while?
About a week. Obris and I returned, and from an archaeological point of view, this is the most fascinating thing I've studied.
Well, that's excellent. Was Athgar were you able to use him and then send him back?
No, we left him in charge, actually. He's a very, very conscientious young man.
He's left him in charge of the whole complex?
of the continuing cleaning and cataloging. Yes, we communicate with him every couple days.
Does he have some people to help him, or is
yes. He's got all of the initiates that we took with us.
Oh, your 2 valet?
Yes, the valets are there. They are his primary assistants, and then there are several initiates who are doing it for class credit.
we should send him a message later tonight.
That would be excellent. That is amazing.
Well,
thank you for the knowledge.
Absolutely, and thank you for introducing us to that young man. He's been very, very helpful.
Welcome.
He's got a keen mind. I just wish he'd picked a more auspicious career path.
Other than Bard?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
no offense.
We all have our flaws. Oh, no. She's not there, I don't think.
No, I went to go get horses.
All right.
Right.
Which is good.
However, bards are actually paladins of Dressfiend, so they're quite renowned, actually.
Yes. I understand that. It's just with a mind like his. Oh, what a wizard he would have made if I'd just met him. Yeah.
I clap him on the shoulder again, just a little too hard. Just a tiny bit hard. And I say, thank you. We're going to head up to the second floor.
Very well. Good studies.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't take you long to find the spot. I mean, you're pretty familiar with this library.
Yeah.
So you get right to the shelving area, and then it's just kind of looking through until you find the books with the runes that indicate that they're about the Sasaran. And there are 4 tomes. One of them is about 2 inches thick. The rest of them are like half an inch thick. So it's not going to take long to read through them.
Okay. I guess we're going to sit down and we're going to do as much as we can in the time we got.
All right. Then, let's see. Make an investigation check with advantage because Arabelle is helping you.
Guidance.
Okay. What does that mean? +4?
Yep.
Die 4.
Plus a D4.
Yeah, because I would have prayed before we started our research
Brilliant.
that Torora would guide us, so to speak.
Remind me what it is. I have the numbers. What is
Investigation.
it again? 18.
18.
Yeah, 16 + 2.
With advantage? That was the higher of the 2 rolls?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, all right. Well, you start looking through the books, and it takes a little while. Some of it's written in a little bit more archaic common.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit like reading Elizabethan English. But you look, it is moving on toward lunchtime, and so far you're coming across secondhand accounts of interactions with the Sasaran, a little bit descriptions of some of the Sasaran that people met. You find a couple descriptions that do sound like Mother Tassa. And right before you're about to sort of close the books and head on down for lunch, you look in the last book, which is actually a book of folk tales. And you start leafing through it, and you're like, why is this labeled Cesarin? And then you hit a story called The Lure of the Sea.
Lure or
Yeah.
Lore?
Lure.
Okay.
And you start skimming it, and enough catches your attention that you go back and actually start reading through it. And it's a folk tale written in relatively recent common. It's not archaic common, so probably the last 20, 40 years. That tells the story of a member of the Cesarin who was born to the troop, grew up with the troop, but when he was about just of age, the troop traveled to Aermagh, and he saw the ocean for the first time and fell in love. And suddenly felt that his destiny was no longer with the Cesarin, but his destiny was to travel the oceans. And so he did the unthinkable. He left the Cesarin to follow a career of a sailor. And that's pretty much where the story ends, but it does make note that the storyteller put a note at the end that this is the only recorded incident of a Cesarin leaving the tribe.
Wow.
I read it out loud to
No, but it doesn't give us, other than the language, we don't know when it happened, right?
Right.
But we have a couple of people we can ask.
Yeah, it does say that this, he left the tribe in Aermagh,
Right.
to become a sailor.
Right.
I look at
I think it's
look at
Jojo.
Arabelle and I say, do we need this book?
I don't think we need it. I mean, we know the story now,
Right.
so.
I put it back on the shelf. All the books back on the shelf.
All right.
Well, I don't know how that helped us now, but it probably will help us later. Just knowing at least a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Gives us-
Make Zorith and Arabelle both make a straight intelligence check.
Beers
Oh,
are
wow.
better than mine.
Shocking. Dirty 20.
Oh, yeah.
I'm shocked.
10. That's what it's like.
Oh,
I'm
19.
You're shocked you got a dirty 20?
I rolled a 19, yes. I only have +1. So
Oh,
Right, and I have +2, but I rolled an 8.
It's as you're walking toward the mess hall. It's Arabelle who goes, if we could find this person, they could probably tell us where they go in the winter.
Pam made that intelligence check.
Right.
But Arabelle caught on too, so good.
Funny.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes, I think we know JoJo's out of town, but I have another sailing contact.
What if it's JoJo?
I said that, but his sister lives in Aermagh, and he's the only one, so that's why I don't think it's JoJo.
All right.
Because we hired his nephew. But he was my first thought, and I was like, no, but he probably knows a rumor.
Okay.
But
and will we be able to find Aaron before next time or this time?
Well, you assume that he'll be at lunch.
Right. Oh, did I not say I was going to have somebody go find him and have him meet us at lunch?
Okay.
Like, like how you get passed a note in class.
Right.
Please sit at this table for lunch.
All right. Well, yeah, you would know the mess hall intimately, so you would know that there are some tables reserved for visitors.
Mm-hmm. Please sit at the visitors' table for lunch.
Maybe we're not cool. He's got friends now.
He might have friends. I hope he does. And then at lunchtime, we're going to go sit at that table.
All right. You meet up with Tasha and sit down at one of the visitors' tables. It is chaos.
Yes,
as is usual. If you've ever eaten in a college cafeteria, it is absolute chaos.
Mayhem.
But Zorith, at the same time, it's almost reassuring. I mean, it's comfortable. You know this environment.
Right.
After, a couple years here, all the ins and outs of this place. So.
Right. And I'm going to make sure that we get the best food. I'm going to go with, is it like cafeteria style line?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that we get like really good things and like double scoop of that if we need it. And do you guys want to double scoop of anything? And I say hey to all of the lunch ladies.
And it's not bad. It is cafeteria food, so it's mass-produced food, but as you know, the cooks here know their stuff.
They do.
So, it's nothing on Arabelle's cooking, but
nope.
It's probably the best cafeteria food you've ever had.
I thank them as
better than the Sanctum, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
I think as we go through the line and say hey and all the fun things of like if you were coming back to like a high school, like
sure,
missed you. Thanks for taking
care. How long have you been out?
What?
When did you graduate? How long has it been?
Not very long.
Back to the beginning of the game.
Like you just left, so they're actually probably people you like know.
Yeah.
That were like a year behind.
Yeah. So I'm going to say like maybe 6 months total?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you get your food, you get something to drink, settle down at the table, and you start eating and you hear a very soft voice say, "Oh my goodness, it's you." And you look up, and there's Aaron.
I'm going to cry.
Dressed in a wizard's novitiate robe.
Yay.
And that's where we're going to stop for the night.
But I'm not tired yet. I can keep playing.
No.
If you take a look at the look on Annette's face, you'll know that that's really not an option right now.
Give us a day tomorrow. It's so bad. You can't go out and do calls.
I have 6 appointments tomorrow. What are you talking about?
Ooh.
Hopefully you don't schedule them early on Wednesdays.
No, my first appointment is at 9:30.
Oh,
that's not bad.
No, that's not terrible.
Yay!
All right.
was fun.
So that's where we'll pick up next week, a little reunion, and then back home to Aermagh for the first time in a couple months.
Ooh, sandwiches.
Yeah, like however many.
JoJo's out of town. We don't know if he's back.
Oh,
But home.
but donuts.
Donuts.
Oh Lord. But we also owe some money to your neighbors and stuff who've been taking.
Well, we
care of
paid
the house.
pretty far in advance, but yes,
Okay.
we did pay JoJo's nephew and Fiona and whatever his name is.
Yeah,
I think it's Fiona is her name.
I don't know.
They know I'm good for it, but we paid like a couple months in advance. So, because we knew.
Yeah.
But yes.
All right. Well, that's where we will pick up next week.
Might get to meet Arabelle's mama and daddy.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He's my shipping contact.
Oh.
And do remember, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, Nikki and I will be superheroing it up for a little bit.
Whoop!
And Pam, as always, you're welcome to join us if you get home in time and you feel up to it.
You can always just watch.
Yep.
Yes.
Or you could, jump in and play along.
No, she could just watch. Good gracious.
She's so pushy.
I also don't know if I have that private server set up on the computer, so we'll have to chat.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's not difficult, so.
Okie dokies.
You know a guy.
Little
Yes.
smokies.
Yes. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. And we will see you again next Tuesday night when we'll welcome you back to the lands of Aecathan. Good night, everybody.
I need a bonus episode.
Good night.